Hey everyone, if you're a YouTube creator living anywhere outside of the United States, you're going to want to listen up. Today, we're diving into the US tax rules that can take a huge bite out of your earnings. So let's get right to it.
So, let me ask you something. What if I told you that you could be losing nearly a quarter of your entire YouTube income to US taxes? For a lot of creators, the answer is shockingly yes. But don't panic. The fix is actually way simpler than you think.
Okay, let's just let this number sink in for a second. 24%. And we're not just talking about a tax on your US viewers. No. If you don't give Google the right info, they could be required to withhold 24% of your total worldwide earnings. Yep, from every single viewer, no matter where on the planet they are. So, yeah, let's call this what it is, the 24% tax problem. And it all boils down to this thing called a default withholding rule that kicks in when you don't take action. All right, so here's the deal. Because Google is a US company, they have to follow US tax laws. And if you don't provide them with any tax information, their hands are kind of tied. They basically have to assume the absolute worst-case scenario applies to you and withhold at the maximum possible rate on everything.
Okay, let's put some real numbers to this to see how painful it can be. Imagine your channel earns $1,000 this month. In this no-form scenario, Google might have to slice off a massive $240. That is a huge chunk of your hard-earned cash, just gone, all because of missing paperwork.
Okay, deep breath. The good news is there's a really simple solution here. It all comes down to one little tax form that completely changes the game. Let's look at how much better things get when you handle your business.
I mean, just look at this. It's a night and day difference. On the left, you've got the default nightmare, up to 24% tax on your worldwide earnings. But on the right, just by submitting one form, that tax rate drops way down. And this is the crucial part. It's only applied to the money you earn from your viewers in the US.
And this shows you just how big of a deal that is. Let's go back to that same $1,000 in earnings. Let's say 400 of it came from US viewers. If you're a creator in a country like India, which has a tax treaty with the US, your rate could drop to just 15%. So the tax is calculated only on that $400. That means just $60 gets withheld. Compare that to the $240 from before. It's an absolute no-brainer.
So, how do you get this much better outcome? It's easy. Let's walk through the exact steps you need to take inside your AdSense account to get this sorted.
Okay, this part's actually super simple. When you go to the tax section in AdSense, you'll see these options. Now listen up. If you're an individual creator, which is most of you, you're going to fill out Form W8BEN. If you run your channel as an actual business entity, you'll use Form W8BEN-E. Easy as that. Now, once you hit Submit, your job isn't quite done. You need to go back and check. You are looking for this beautiful, beautiful site, the green approved status. That's your confirmation that Google has it, they've accepted it, and you are all set for those much, much lower tax rates. Now, I know for some of you, your situation might be a little different, especially if you happen to be part of an MCN. So let's quickly cover a few of these special cases and rules. So first off, what even is an MCN? It just stands for a multi-channel network. Think of them as third-party companies that work with lots of channels, often helping out with payments, channel growth, all that kind of stuff. So if you're with an MCN, here's the key thing you have to understand. Google deducts any US withholding tax before it sends the money to your MCN. This is super important because you might not see that deduction in your own YouTube analytics, but trust me, it's happening. Your MCN gets a report that details it all. Here's another vital detail. This is not a one-and-done task. Your tax form has a lifespan. It's generally valid for 3 full calendar years after the year you submit it. So if you file it in 2023, you're good through all of 2024, 25, and 26. But at the end of 2026, it expires and you've got to resubmit it. And what if you submit your form late? Say you were getting charged that higher rate for a few months. Well, you can claim a refund for that overpayment, but, and this is a big but, it has to be within the same calendar year. If you wait until January of next year, that money's gone for good, so don't wait. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. Let's just boil this all down into a final, simple checklist of the actions you need to take right now.
All right, here is your plan. Number 1, log in to your AdSense account. 2, fill out the correct tax form. Again, W8BEN for most of you. 3, make sure you claim your tax treaty benefits if your country has them. 4, circle back and confirm you see that magical green approved status. And finally, number 5, open your calendar right now and set a reminder for 3 years from now to do this all over again. And that brings us to the end. I'll leave you with one final simple question that could save you a whole lot of money and stress. Have you checked your tax form status today?